Hey there guys, I'm SonicGhost and welcome to another challenge. Today we got ourselves a brand new challenge here in Splatoon 3. So without any further ado, let's jump straight into the game itself, as the challenge is currently live. So let's go to the lobby and see what the game has in store for us today. Because today, we get to play ourselves none other than the Splat Bomb Rush. Let the splat bombs fly in this free-for-all. It's splat bombs away in this explosive challenge. You can only use weapons with the splat bomb sub-weapon. Splat bomb in consumption will be cut in half, and only primary gear abilities are enabled for this. Secondaries will have no effect. But there's one other caveat I would like to add to this list, and we'll get into that once we get to the weapon selection. Speaking of weapon selection, can't use the weapon I'm currently using because this has a suction bomb, not a splat bomb. So, if we go to change a weapon, we can see these are the weapons here that we have access to. It's a total of 16 weapons when you count the different variants, say like the splatter scope and the splatter charger here, or the splat charger, excuse me. And then you also have the variants of it too, like the order versions of those said weapons. They are technically just a different palette of the original weapon kit, so technically a different skin. So when you count all these weapons into the pool, it's a total of 16 different weapons. And they all have the splat bomb sub-weapon. But we got a big variety of different guns, and we can just kind of pick whatever. But as always, I do have some freshest fits picked out for the said challenge, so we are going to be using a set of weapons here. But before we jump into the said challenge, I think there's one more thing we should do. As this is the Bomb Rush challenge, I think it's only fitting if we go over to the jukebox here, go into the other tab, and go down until we get to this song. I think it's fitting that if we're going to be playing the Bomb Rush challenge, to have none other than Bomb Rush Blush Play by Callie. The most fitting song for this, which is really hard to hear in the said lobby area, but this song is Callie's exclusive song she used to promote the final Splatfest in Splatoon 1. So I feel it's the most fitting to play this, especially because in Splatoon 2, the Bomb Rush special actually had a very hard to notice little Easter egg. When you use the Bomb Rush special of any kind in that game, if you listen really closely, you'll actually hear hints of this said song play. So when you use the Bomb Rush special, you hear a little jingle of Bomb Rush Blush in the background. A little hard to notice because of all the action going on in Splatoon 2, but I think it was a cool little Easter egg and also a nice touch for the said Bomb Rush special, and this is kind of what that said special is like, and we'll see once we get into the challenge. So let's go ahead and start. As always, we're going to be playing our 5 games here, get a feel for things, and then from there, I'll just be playing more of this on my own after we get our set score, and see how I stack after the 2-hour rotation. So, one thing I do want to mention, though, about my kit. This is all primary abilities. I have Comeback On, I have Quick Super Jump, and I have Stealth Jump. There was one more caveat I wanted to mention about what abilities you can use in this, because every ability is allowed to be used, but certain ones you may not want to use. Now that we're in the game, it'll be much easier to see it. So, in this challenge, they give you a lot of sub-save. What I mean by a lot? Look at the ink tank. I can throw upwards of 2 bombs at once and give it about, maybe a quarter second at most, and then I can throw another one right away. So, in rapid succession, you can throw about 3 bombs all at once. So, get used to seeing those bombs fly in this challenge. But that is kind of a thing you need to be keeping in mind. Comeback, Last Ditch Effort, and Sub-Saver are abilities you may or may not want to use for this said challenge, because with Sub-Saver specifically, it's not recommended to use that for the said challenge because there's really nothing about the Sub-Saver that's going to help in the said challenge. I've actually tried with a max thing of Sub-Saver, and it makes 0 difference. It will not really make a dent because of how much Sub-Saver the challenge gives you natively. So there's no reason to use that said ability. Same for Last Ditch Effort. You can get a lot of Sub-Saver for that, upwards of over 2 main abilities worth once the full effect is, well, in effect. So because of that alone, again, last-ditch effort you don't really need for the set challenge. And Comeback will give you one main of Sub-Saver along with a bunch of other abilities too. And that won't really make much of a difference. You're noticing coming back in, I can still throw basically the same amount. I can throw one extra bomb now, and that's about it. But even then, it was like this close before in my ink tank. It was like maybe off by a couple pixels worth, so it's not helping as much as you would think to have Sub-Saver in any fashion here. So those abilities you don't necessarily need for this challenge, excuse me. And remember, this is only primary abilities, so certain abilities like the Sub-Savers, Last-ditch effort, Comeback, you don't have to really use for the set challenge if you want to use other things, because when you only have 3 abilities in total to use, you got to be really mindful of the things that you're using, since there's only so many abilities that you can bring in. I still recommend using Comeback because of just the extra things you get with it, like 1 main of Ink Saver, 1 main of Swim Speed and Run Speed. Those are pretty helpful in a lot of regards, especially given how the Swim and Run Speed being an effect for about 20 seconds, that makes a pretty big difference due to having only a handful of abilities to use in total here. So I still like using Comeback for a lot of weapons, and then Last-ditch effort is still good to give you a lot of Ink Saver main and Ink Recovery if you still needed that for certain weapons as well, but you don't really need it for bombs, and that's the big reason why a lot of people use something like Last-ditch effort. It's mainly for bomb spam. You won't really need that for the set challenge. And obviously, Sub-Saver? No. You just don't need it for this. They give you so much. It's really long diminishing returns the moment you use 1. So there's really no need for that. But that's the first game. Kind of a rough start, but that's how you're going to notice a lot of these games go. It's going to be very back and forth on the zone control because of how many bombs you can chuck in. And they do a really good job at painting. And you're going to see a lot of people use the weapons that have triple ink strike, specifically with 10-tech splatter shot and the slosher, because those are really good for painting zones fast. So you'll see a lot of that special probably when playing this set challenge. But that was game 1, and you know, did our best, got a feel for how the challenge goes, so can't really complain on that front. So now let's go ahead and swap to our next weapon here. And this weapon is actually going to be showing off how little of a difference Last-ditch effort really does make for the challenge, but hey, you gotta use it. So let's go ahead and use the new heavy edit Splatling here, introduced here in this Sizzle season. This one has a Splat Bomb and Crab Tank, which is pretty huge because we don't have many weapons in this game that have Crab Tank as its special. It's one of like a handful of weapons that have a Crab Tank, and it's a new one to boot. This is a really good midline to backline weapon because of Crab especially. And I really do like the heavy edit. It's a really fun Splatling to use. It's just, a lot of times I just find myself wanting to play with Nautilus instead, just because it's the same range as that said Splatling, but 1, you can hold your ink in the charge so you can move around and just shoot people immediately, so that's really helpful. And then 2, the wind up to get to the second charge on heavy edit takes a very long time, and I notice if I go for that charge, it ends up killing me a lot of the time, so that's a little drawback for me. There we go. Round 2 here. We got ourselves a lot of juniors, and that's another weapon you're probably going to see a lot of, simply just because I believe that, unless you're dealing with a bunch of ink strikes, the said Big Bubble special is really, really helpful to have in a lot of regards, just because of how Big Bubble can block a lot of bombs, so it'll keep you safe for a little bit longer. Now, mind you, it's still not going to really matter much when you have ink strikes on the field, but hey, it's better than nothing. Alright, this is a really bad area. Okay, they're right on me. Gonna have to melee jump. I love how I just spawned and I have to jump at the base. I couldn't even leave my base, and I have to go back to base. That's a problem. To be fair, this is only game 2. We're still at the 2100 power level, so this is not helping. We can't leave the base. Nice power scaling. I don't know what it is, but specifically with this challenge, as I played it last night when it became available during its first rotation, I noticed this problem a lot as well. And it's really weird that a lot of the games, until you get your qualifying power, I noticed that it just kind of threw you in at like the highest levels for no good reason. I don't know if that's because there's not as many people playing the challenge, so a lot of the people playing, they're either still getting the qualifiers, so the game just kind of throws you into whatever stakes, or it's just the people who are playing are at the higher levels, but in my experience, I keep on getting paired, at least in the qualifying phase, with people in the 2100 range, and it's like, I'm not there yet, guys. You can tell based on how I'm playing and the teammates I'm getting paired with, we're not at that skill level, so it feels like a good 200 to 300 point difference on the skill ceiling, and that is not good. The matchmaking on this, I don't really think it's specific to this challenge, but it just feels a lot more noticeable that it's atrocious on power scale here. It's just way more in favor of the enemy. But now we have last ditch effort in full effect, and you can see how many bombs we can throw now. At most, it will still be 3, and while you can definitely charge up immediately for another bomb, which is very helpful, it's not really worth running last ditch, if you want to be honest here. It's helpful, but at the same time, barely. I have to use my crab here carefully. Alright, I got some strikes coming in, so I gotta move back, because that would have probably hit me. Gonna stay over here in the corner, take a look. I got the zone, but that really doesn't matter, because this zone's not that big. We can take it over pretty fast, especially if we just shoot it and also hit it with some bombs. That's the big thing with this Bomb Rush challenge. We can paint it really fast by just bombing the zone. Okay, there we go. I thought I was going to miss some of those shots for a minute before the cooldown, but we're fine. Just keep on painting, just try to keep it balanced. Couldn't really get away from that bomb in time. That was a really well-placed bomb. I don't think my team can get it before it takes over. Sure enough, there it goes. Now you also notice on this kit, I have bomb defense on, because bomb defense is really helpful when you're dealing with a lot of bombs being thrown at you. You can get hit by a bomb off to the side, and with bomb defense DX on, you can at least survive if it's not directly on top of you. So I normally run this as one sub, as one sub's usually all you need for bomb defense, but obviously in this challenge, we do not have access to any sub abilities. So having it on as a main is really my only option. And it gets the job done. It really does. Careful here with these junior players. I say that, and they struck my sponge before I can jump up, so that didn't work at all. I was afraid that was going to happen. I'm trying to get faster, but they didn't have that chance. I think this is a lockout situation now. They're pretty much going to be in our base for the rest of the time. And they're at the very end of their time threshold. I have to apparently not do anything. I was going to say, I have to crab here and just try to hit that zone. It was my only hope, and even then, couldn't even do that. That was a terrible game for us. But again, I don't know if it's this challenge specifically, the amount of people playing, but in the qualifying stages, I'm getting paired with people at the top levels, and I'm not ready for that just yet. I need time to warm up for it. I kind of work my way up to the 2100s. I don't start at the 2100s and then stay there. When you face a team with 2100 and you lose, it's supposed to take you down a level to match you with the team you're supposed to be playing against. So maybe a 2000 or 1900. It doesn't keep you in the same range. But obviously, this challenge is doing the opposite. So now I gotta play serious. Now I gotta use the custom range blaster and really show people what I'm made of. This thing, I'm so glad, is just the Splatoon 1 version of CRB, because this weapon is so fun to play with. So in Splatoon 1, custom range blaster in that game was just this: Splat Bomb and Kraken. That was its kit. And this was loved in Splatoon 1. It was seen as one of the best weapons in the game. So, needless to say, to bring that exact same kit back in this game is really good. It definitely outclasses the other version of Range Blaster. Not to say that that version was bad. Suction Bomb and Wavebreaker is still a pretty good combo, but Wavebreaker was the thing that was holding that said weapon back, and now we don't have to worry about a special that a lot of people can just use to dodge. Kraken is a lot more aggressive. The only problem I'm going to have here is I'm not going to have much ink. So I gotta be really careful, especially when I chuck bombs. I'm gonna use up all my ink. See, like right there, I could have picked the guy off, but I didn't have enough ink for the second shot. And now I had enough ink to take out one, but not the second guy chasing me. So comeback is gonna be my savior for this said kit. We're gonna have a lockout immediately again. I just kinda wanna play the game. Can I leave and play the video game? Apparently that's not allowed. I'm about ready to get Kraken. I helped take out someone. That's good. Alright, I'm going in with Kraken. And one nice thing about this set special is I don't have to worry about the bombs anymore, because I'm immune to things in this set Kraken form. I just have to be careful because I will take back a lot of knockback hits. So you know I am immune. I can get pushed in the water if I'm not careful. In this map, I was really hoping we got Wahoo when I had this weapon, because Wahoo was a much better pick for custom range than Mahi with all his water. How did that still kill? And that's the moment I need my bomb defense back on, I guess, because I don't think I would have died with bomb defense on. What I get for training out for stealth jump, because it is better for this weapon. I just chuck the bombs, keep on chucking. Back. Okay, get back again. I was about to throw a bomb that would have actually gotten nuked. That's another thing. Triple Ink Strike, it's used a lot in this just because of the fact that it can also destroy bombs, which is a huge plus. Take care of that guy real quick. Just kind of scoot around here in zone. Oh, thank you for that shield, teammate. I would have died otherwise. But you're going to see a lot of people use the Triple Ink Strikes to try to nuke Splat Bombs as well, which is a very smart thing to do. Because any bomb that's in the Triple Ink Strike area will get destroyed. So, needless to say, be a lot of strikes. I'm going to have to just throw this out, just kind of peck people off from distance. Get away from that area, because we're going to get completely destroyed. Oh god, this is the second set. Oh, I'm going to get destroyed here. Man, there's too many bombs around me. Didn't matter where I jumped, I was dead regardless. Man, there's only one guy left, so there's no reason to jump back in. It's out. Now throw him from here. Get up, throw another one. Come on, hit. I can't hit the right side of a barn. I got that shot. This would have made my life so much easier. Now this guy is fighting for his dear life against the guy below. My teammate, I don't think he would have been able to get him. He's still there! How am I missing? Thank you. I was like, come on, man. I'm right next to him. The blaster should still hit. The only downside of Kraken, it takes you forever to actually get into the Kraken itself, and you can easily get killed out of it. Oh god. That wasn't even because I knew I was jumping. That was just really terrible timing. Come on, just get to that set shield. This might be bad. They know where I'm at. They know where I'm at. There was no hope there, because I was surrounded by two people. I tried to kill one, the other guy will get me. So that was just unavoidable. All right, let's go back in. This is a much better back and forth game, to be fair, last time, because we actually got score. So that's already a plus. Oh man, I missed it. That's like, it's right there. The guy's like this far away from the blast shot. I should have still clipped him. I don't know if they can do this in time. No, that might be game. Oh, it's not. Okay, never mind. We got a penalty time on them, so it's not going to instantly end by a knockout. Thank goodness. We have some time to come back. It's not much. We'll have to take advantage of any time we get right now. All right, good. I really hope I got Kraken, because I need to go. I have to just kind of go around the area. I'm going to hide in here, because it's the most safe area to be. Just keep on pushing. Should probably threw a bomb there, but honestly, I don't think that would have worked either, so any play would have happened. Only got one guy. Again, every time I die, I want to jump back in. There's only one guy alive, so jumping is just not good. So my idea of having stealth jump for this didn't work at all, because every time I wanted to jump, it was a bad idea. Man, at least I wasn't a knockout this time, but can we have a game that we can actually do anything? Because so far the answer was no, and I couldn't see that last bomb at all. It was underneath a ledge outside of the camera's view. So that's like walking into a thumbtack you can't see on the floor. You're bound to hit it because you just don't see it there. So that's unfortunate. So that's 3 losses so far. This ain't looking good for the score. So far, this is looking like chump change points. I'll be lucky at this rate if this is even a top 50. So let's do another weapon setup here. Let's go into the slosher, specifically using the order slosher, because I like the order weapons. Why not? Yeah, oh wow, that other team demolished. We barely did anything by comparison. That was a rough one. Hopefully this game, things turn around. Now, I do have some last ditch on this. Not as big of a deal as I mentioned with the second game, but Slosher is going to use a good amount of ink. So if anything, it would be good to have last ditch on, mainly just for ink consumption on the main weapon, not necessarily the bombs. All right, but let's jump in here. Game number 4. Here's hoping that this is the one, because we finally would like to have a win. Alright, so jumping in, looks like everyone's just kind of going straight into the said zone. We'll just paint it up. In control right away, that's pretty good. I'm just gonna paint around with my slosher, just do a little bit of chip damage here. Oh, we got some strikes. Watch out, they're all over the place. I don't know where to go, nowhere safe. The moral of the challenge, nowhere is safe. There was nowhere to hide. This dude, get him out. Now I got away, fan one more time. I should be okay back here. I gotta move though, because I have like no health. I gotta do this now. This guy's gonna try to kill me before I get the strikes out. I at least got the strikes, and that's what really mattered. Unfortunately, there's only one guy left, so it's not gonna last for long. But at least I took the zone over, even for like a second. Dude, so many strikes. Please, let me in. And it's only one guy, too, so that's saying something. I think he's over here? Is that guy still here? No, he moved, okay. Now, one nice thing, if I hit someone with a bomb around the big bubble shield, if they're outside of that shield, they will instantly die, because the bomb gets instantly popped. Yeah, unfortunate, but I got my strikes out. That's really all I can do. Looks like right now it's a very tough fight in mid, so we're not really doing much, unfortunately. This is gonna be another problematic game if we don't hurry up. I gotta go, just gotta get out. No, this is game. It's impossible for us to get the zone, we just don't have time. Oh, wait, maybe, never mind. I was gonna say, if I could have a foot and mouth moment where we win, that would be nice, but that's why it's like, I can take my hands off the controller. It's not gonna happen. It's literally impossible, because no one's at mid. We're all dead. Ah, man. This is at a point now where I can start game 5, disconnect on purpose to get a penalty, and it'd be the same thing as losing, because that's probably gonna happen. So, needless to say, this ain't looking good for you, boy. It's gonna look like a terrible score. So, yeah, number 1 almost. I got 1 kill. How am I the best one? You know you're in for a lost cause game if you're the number 1 splatter and you get 1 kill. That is not good. All right, you know what? At this point, it's time for memes because we ain't winning this legit. So how about we not try? Let's go radical. All sub power up. For this, though, to give myself a fighting chance, I am going to be using the whole kit. I'm not just going to go bombs only, because that is going to get me killed. But, at the same time, I am going to be using the big bubble here to my advantage, because this specific special, I'm going to have to really hope saves my life in so many cases. Because this is going to help. At least I hope. But the power here just makes the explosions bigger, so it can cover more ground. It's not necessarily going to do more damage, but I could do more chip damage with these bombs now, and that might help. This is also the first time we're really getting to use the big bubble special after it got its buff going into this season of Splatoon. So now when I put it down, it paints a little area around its feet, like a little circle. Nothing that big, but it's enough to at least give you some solid ground to stand in of your own color, so that's good. Alright, but let's go. Final game, it's Redemption Arc or bust. I don't want to bust. I want to at least try. Everyone on their side has all subs safer, except for one guy, so needless to say, I think they're going to want to chuck bombs. Just saying. Right, if I can get in there, then I can do this. Okay, get away from those bombs. And my shield matters not, because the strikes immediately destroy it. Why is this on me? Please go away. I'm not even doing anything to you. Please don't target me. Done with the memes. The whole point of the challenge, just rolling bombs. Really our only hope. So far, we're doing pretty good to push them back, so that's a good sign. Gonna be careful here, not to get hit by that killer whale. Over here, we got some guys trying to flank in. That'll protect us for a little bit. If I can just now get this guy. Nice. I'm going into the area here. Oh, I really hope my team can take that. Okay, good. Because I'm going to show their base from now. I'm going to make their lives harder. But please take it back. Thank you. Got him. They don't know where I'm at. Okay, they're going around. Force to be reckoned with. You can't get in here. Why did the memes work? Why? It's always the stupid thing that works. Not when you try hard. Not when you're using a viable kit or being very competitive. No, it's when you're just bombs. You know, the actual point of the challenge. But still, it's when you joke around and use the dumbest setup. That's the one that works. How am I not surprised at this point? Like, that is just on brand at this point in time. Doing dumb things always seems to work on this branding. I don't know how, it just does. So, that was our final game. 4 losses, 1 win. What is that? How? How is that 1,800? We lost most of our games! And not just lost. As a reminder, 4 to 5, 4 to 8, 4 to 11, 1 to 4. Like, we were slaughtered. We got maybe some silver medals sometimes and some golds, but for the most part, we didn't do good. We had 1 good victory, and that somehow gave me an 18-17. All right, I guess that just shows this one's a hard one. I don't understand how that's an 1,800. I don't, but I'll take it. So, yeah, needless to say, this is an interesting challenge. It does bring back fond memories of Bomb Rush specials from Splatoon 1 and Splatoon 2, because in those games, you had a special that just basically let you do this. This was the special. You just chuck bombs infinitely. And this challenge, it somewhat replicates that old mentality, even though it's not the same thing. It is very, very close to it. So, in nostalgia reasons, I like this challenge because I like the idea of thinking about the old games. And then of actually playing it, I don't know about this one, Chief. I wasn't the biggest fan. I don't really like bombs everywhere at every moment in time. It's a little overwhelming, and it's very easy to get clipped by something that is outside of your view because of this challenge, because it happens more often when there's more bombs in the field. So, at least to me, personally, I thought this one was fun, but I wouldn't really play it again, honestly. It was a one and done for me. It's fine, it's just, don't care for bomb spam all that much personally. But that's just a personal preference. But, with that said, that's gonna do it for this said challenge. So, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Seriously, how is it when I do a meme, I get a good score?